Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The first time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
Heidi wandering around in the parking lot this morning.
Yeah.
Were you lost, or were you meaning to come out here and hang with us?
I just had this force field of not seeing Pat for so long.
It makes sense.
Because, Jill and I, ruled
it?
the roost while you were gone.
Oh, that's right.
Absolutely.
You guys talked about a bag of hair or dog hair. What
I
did you
don't
guys
know,
talk
I
about?
just remember it was
A little bit.
really efficient.
Yeah.
It
I'm
took
sure.
far less time.
I'm sure.
She knew
In
the
and
phone
out.
number and all the.
You did?
I
The
knew the phone
social
number
media.
and the email.
Wow.
I even started saying my personal number in your honor.
Yes.
And I caught myself.
Throw out your social number accidentally?
Yeah, right?
My weight. No one needs to hear
Right.
that.
We had to do one of the cats we thought was not feeling well, or wasn't feeling well, but we thought there was like a drastic weight loss issue for one of the cats.
Oh.
It ended up not being the case. But, of course, I had to be the one to get on the scale, weigh myself, and then just because we wanted to save the fee to go to
Do
the
the
vet.
math.
Yeah, so I had to get on the scale, and then handed me Molly, and then added up, and I looked down, I'm like, holy cow.
She's gained a lot of weight.
Right. When I first got on there the first time, I'm like, did you put Molly on my back? I thought I was already holding the cat.
Was her foot on the scale?
Felt like it. That's
We all need to have a little grace to ourselves, a little forgiveness. Food is good.
Food is glorious.
I know. I know.
Netflix is fun.
Netflix is fun. We had to move some boxes around in the office. They were pretty heavy, like 10 or 15 of them the last couple of days. And the first day we moved them in, I was sore up until, today when we moved them again, and I'm going to be sore tomorrow. I'm terribly out of shape.
Yeah, well,
But that goes
literally
fast.
I
moving them
shoveled the.
20 feet.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
walking back and forth, so he had to walk back and forth 15
I was
times.
bitching after 3.
Were you
Yeah.
were
He
you
was-
picking it up or just pushing it?
Picking it up.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were
Because-
low and squatty. If they were tall, I would have pushed. But
Well, I was thinking if they were low and you were pushing it, that would also hurt your back because you have to bend
yeah,
over.
no, I picked it up. I
Okay.
lifted with my legs. Therefore, they're going to be sore. Super
You said
sore.
you had to do the walks?
I shoveled half the driveway and the front walk, and then the other half of the driveway, we got my middle one up. He was not happy, but
That's what you got to do.
he was not very smart, and he didn't pull his vehicle, even though we have the 3 spaces.
Oh.
So the plow was going around. Our neighbors probably hate us. The plow was going around the side street, and we're like, you got to get that van out of the middle of the street. Well, no one told me it was going to snow. We're like, see that weather app on your phone?
Right.
You just push it.
You have more
the
opportunity
magical-
to know that it's going to snow than anyone ever in time.
Yeah, this is the best thing. I've been up all school, and then I had to get up at 7
know.
on Saturday,
Like,
and I
God
didn't get home
forbid.
till super late. Ryan, God bless him, he looks at him like, sorry to disrupt your social life, but the solution to that? Get home earlier.
Right.
You sleep more.
It's easy.
Yeah. You don't have to max out that curfew
Right.
to the minute.
You do.
You tickle 12:30. It's like
You do.
12:29, and you're diving in the front door.
You guys are nicer than we are. It's like between 11:30 and if we're real generous, midnight.
Yeah.
Because we need to sleep.
Because you don't want to wait up and see if they make it.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't fall. I mean, that's a bold-faced lie. I do fall asleep. Ryan won't.
100%.
Because you're just covered in worry.
Right.
I have in my
Right.
mind,
It just
worry.
cradles me to sleep. And
Worry
in
myself
my
to
mind, I'm
sleep.
like, just text me or come in and give me a little nudge when you're home.
Yeah.
Well, if he's in a ditch, I'm not going to get that nudge.
Right.
I'm just going to sleep all night.
Right.
There have been numerous times in the last couple of weeks that I've woke up to leave for work, and the next morning I'm peeking out and just seeing if Bennett's car's in the street. I'm like, didn't quite make it to 12:30. Well, 12:30 during the weekend, and it's 10:30 during the week.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm out at 9:15. You know?
Yeah.
And so peeking around, and
thank goodness.
Well, we've got a very responsible subset of friends who just kind of, several of them live within the vicinity of
good.
each other, so that helps.
So if you Mrs. Kravitz.
If someone
They kinda
if
know what's
someone,
going on in the
doesn't
neighborhood.
fill their tank up enough,
Yeah.
there's going to be a couple of their backups.
that's
couple of-
nice.
That's cool.
Shadowers,
The
yeah.
whole parking on the street thing drives me absolutely crazy. It does. It makes me nuts. There's a lot of people that do it in my circle. It's like in a cul-de-sac.
Well, and in a cul-de-sac, it's kind of rough.
It's kind
Yeah.
of tough.
Kind of choking anybody that wants to turn around.
I'm like, really? We all got pretty good sized driveways here.
Right?
You could pull it in.
Yeah, on a cul-de-sac, that would be rough.
It gets a little tight. And then when the plows come, well, we'll come back and get y'all later.
Yeah.
And they just go on by.
Yeah, I kind of did the wave of shame because I was, shoveling before he came out, and I was like, "Sorry, the plow came by. We'll move it.
It's
we'll
my
get
kid.
it."
It's my kid.
Yeah.
We live in a neighborhood that's really established a lot of older retired people, and it's like living in a neighborhood filled with grandpas. Because last time when it snowed a couple weeks ago, we got up and I was getting my clothes on to go out and shovel, and I walked out and the driveway was already done. The sidewalks were done.
Yeah.
And Gene next door, call him Gene Jacket.
Yeah.
He came over with his snowblower, did
That's
everything.
awesome.
I mean,
All
it's
mine
so
was
awesome.
done before I got dressed.
It's so great.
I looked out and it's like, so I went and got clothes that I could step outside. I was like, "What are you doing?" And
I
he
know.
said, "Well, I got a new snowblower, but doctor says I got to get some exercise in." And then he got done with mine and he went to the next driveway
That's
and did
cool.
it.
Like, giddy up.
People are good.
Like that's
Yeah.
nice.
But you're not teaching your kid anything, because I wanted Bennett was going to get up and help me.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well,
Yeah.
now what do I have him do? Nothing.
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 He needs
So
to
you should have
sleep in
yelled
from
at your
his
neighbor.
social outing.
Go
And
yell at
those
your
boys
neighbor,
need
right?
11 hours, Pat.
Oh my
Sophie
god.
slept for
sleep.
14 the other day.
Yeah, I used to sleep
14.
hard.
She was not even sick. Like
Yeah.
14. Didn't even wake up to pee.
So like my good nights
Those
now
are
are
the
10.
days, right?
Oh,
Pat?
God.
I can still pull 10.
Going an hour and a half without having to pee. You can still pull 10.
Yes. I'm not
wake
trying
up-
to brag.
I can still be lazy ass.
I get 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
8.
That is crazy.
Now the likelihood of me
Mostly
doing
8.
that, I mean, it has to be earplugs in, the dog
Nobody
shut
bothering
out,
you.
Ryan
You're planning
being
ahead
gone
for
from
it.
the house.
Let me see real quick here. I'm gonna because I have my stupid little app.
We're very loud in the
So,
Woodward household.
so it's something you plan for. You're like, okay, coming up this Friday, everybody's going to be, or this Saturday, I'm going to sleep in until 11.
like the best case scenarios are Ryan takes the dogs to the dog park. That's like his jam in the mornings.
Yeah.
None of the kids have activities before 9:30, 10 in the
So
morning.
they aren't moving.
Right. And I mean, or the night before, like, no basketball game starting at 9 o'clock. Like I could just go to bed
my
at
gosh.
9,
Yeah.
sleep to my heart's content, and then be riddled with, you can sleep when you're dead. Why do you sleep so
Why does
much? That's what I
everybody
hear.
has to. It's like there's always a shaming going on.
I know. I'm like, I'm just happy. Can you just, I'm not bothering you. I'm
Right.
not,
Just
we didn't
leave me
have
alone.
anything I needed to do.
What were you supposed to do?
I mean,
Make
I
'em
guess.
food?
What do I
mean,
need
like,
to do?
Well, they know that's not happening.
Right. Okay. That's like, right.
Can't wake me up to.
If Ryan's at the dog park,
we have to cook stuff.
food's not being made in the
I
house.
slept
Right.
7 hours last night.
Good for you. It's
Yeah.
good for you.
I was just looking to see what
I
happened.
never shame people for sleep. I also
Right?
don't rip on people who love getting up super early. Like, to each their own.
But just don't tell me
Yeah.
I have
Whatever
to do
your
or-
jam
but
is,
don't-
just don't shame people.
right?
Don't shame people and for like eating stuff. Like if somebody says I politely decline that dessert, don't go, come on,
Oh my
just
God.
have it. It's like, what does it matter to you?
That's
Right.
What does
that's
it matter to you?
ingrained. That's ingrained in the culture. That's just people because everybody wants to feed somebody. It's like that. Everything is built around food for all of America.
Yeah.
Everything is
Yeah.
built around food, and so you can't just get together.
You gotta have snacks.
You gotta have snacks. You gotta
That
have
is so true. What
know-
would we do if we didn't drink and eat when we were
Right?
together?
because it's like
Talk.
that's the thing that fills
Right.
those awkward pauses. It's like
Yeah.
everybody, I'm going to go make a sandwich, or something. But yeah, everything is built around food, and so you can't just sit and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can, though.
Yeah,
We
right?
can.
That's what we're doing right now.
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, with going to mom and dad's, it's the same way because mom's always, you sure you don't want to get something to eat? And I usually get there around 10:30 or 11 in the morning on the weekends, and then I stay for a couple hours. And I'm like, if you guys want to eat something, feel free. And,
Yeah.
well, no, if you don't want anything, that's okay. And I'm like,
It's like if you guys are
you
hungry,
eat if
Right.
you want to eat.
what you should really do is just stay there for like 12 hours and see if they actually
If they ever eat.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm good, and they're just starving.
Yeah, she always does that, and other people do that too. Well, you want to get something to eat, and we'll get. And I'm like, no, I'm good. If you guys want to get something, go ahead. No, well, if you don't want any, that's okay.
I feel bad eating if you're not eating. Why?
Yeah.
Right.
Go eat.
I don't
You're
feel bad
hungry.
at 10:30 when I'm riddling through the pantry eating cookies nobody else is eating.
Yep.
Right.
I brought a story for you today.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm ready.
Sweet.
This is an awkward, accidental run-in. I'll just leave it. That's the setup.
Okay.
I want
that
you to
was a
tell your story
terrible
that you
setup.
told just a little bit ago too.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
my
I'm gonna
first
write it
story.
down so we don't forget.
Okay, my first story is that last week I had reached out through the patient portal, Nebraska Medicine plug, super easy way to get my doctor, and I was like, "Hey, can I bring
Use
in?"
the promo code Heidi and save 20%.
By the way,
I
FYI.
just got a text. I'm fired. I just got let go from my job. Thank you, Pat.
was a kickback.
So I got a call back because my main question was one of my kids, who will remain nameless, has warts on the bottom of his or her feet.
Okay.
And so I was like, I know that he or she is not your patient normally. I am, but can, I have you see him or her? And he's like, yes, and basically his staff member called me the next day. Well, what happened? So I sent in the request through the portal, like after hours, and then they just read it whenever the next day. I am like, not very put together that morning. And I see on my caller ID a regular phone call, not a video chat, just a regular phone call coming through with his name. And so I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. I remember at one point he had given me the cell number, but it was under the understanding of emergencies only.
Yeah.
Right.
He gives it to all of his patients, whatever. But I also remembered I had saved the main clinic number under his name. So I answer, and it's not him, but it's another gentleman. And sure enough, he's calling me to set up this appointment for my child. So as we are talking, he says, oh, I'm supposed to ask you about your Christmas lights, which is another story. And I start laughing, and I'm like, he goes, do you and Dr. insert name of my doctor live close together? And I'm like, oh, no, he probably just saw me joking about it on, the Bellevue page, or I don't know. Like, I don't think we live. He probably doesn't want to know if I live near him, or have me know that he lives near me.
Yeah.
And I'm like yucking it up with this guy. Well, my psycho dogs start barking, so I put the phone between my shoulder and my cheek,
Which doesn't work well with
to
smartphones.
carry like one of the dogs into a locked room. And as I'm like, ha ha, you know how I get. I'm like laughing, shouting into the phone, and I hear hello, and I'm like, how did I disconnect? And I look down at my phone. Keep in mind, like, I have my fro from the morning.
You're a hot
like
mess.
I have no makeup. No, well, not that I wear a ton of makeup, but my hair is not tamed down. I'm looking like nostrils down. Like the phone is below me because I'm lugging my dog. It is my freaking doctor in his car. I cheek dialed, FaceTimed him.
Oh, you're
while I'm taking my dog.
You are
and he's like,
kidding me.
hey, Heidi, is so and so taking care of you? And he's like, anything up? And I'm like, I don't know how this happened. Like, what? So it's like,
oh my gosh,
yes.
how embarrassing.
Cheek FaceTimed. And
You-
God
oh
bless
my
that
God.
man. He answered my FaceTime call.
Well, yeah, because it's only emergency, so we thought, holy cow, what's
in
going
his
on?
car. Like,
And it probably sounded like an emergency.
Right. Oh gosh, he's getting attacked by wolves.
all he hears is, I don't know if we live near one another. It's so funny.
So did you like conference the two together or hang up on a previous guy?
Hung up on the previous guy.
and
Or
face-
I'm sure he just hung up after, like, he's probably like, hello.
Right.
While
No
I'm
way.
busy, unbeknownst to me, FaceTiming my doctor. So he just laughs it off, and I'm
hilarious.
like, I'll see you next week. Keep in mind, this poor man has seen parts of me that nobody besides my husband
Exactly.
should see. We've had conversations that nobody besides a therapist should hear.
Right.
And now he gets like
He
this.
just put that in your file.
Right.
I
He
really
understands
do.
a lot more
I
now.
mean, they are releasing more like mandated. You have to release pretty much a lot of stuff from your online medical record to the patient. And I am sure I'm going to see some notes at some point.
You're going to be on a list.
Like borderline. needs a little
Borderline
help.
a lot.
Borderline. Lots
She's
of
kind
borderlines.
Lots of
losing it
borderlines.
at home, losing it. So yeah,
We thought the days of pocket dialing and all that stuff was over.
Yeah.
You know, but no, it happens
Heed my
a lot.
warning. The cheek FaceTime is a real threat.
I keep muting people or muting me, I guess, really. I turn
yeah.
off this. So I'm talking, they can't hear me. And then I get done and they don't say anything. And I hear, what? Hello?
Yes.
Hello? And I'm like, what? Oh, God, dang it. And I'm sorry.
Yep.
Just muted you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stupid screen's supposed to shut off when it's up by your face at this angle. It's not supposed to come on. But you were down at an angle like that.
Correct.
So it was.
And I don't know if you've
That's a
noticed, but
great
I have
look.
a little more cheek these days.
No, I hear you. It's a lot easier
The
to
new
keep
butt
it
dial,
wedged in here.
Right? The new butt dial.
Yeah, the double chin dial. The DCD.
So you put the poll out about holiday lights, like who's got
Yeah.
the best. Was
Yeah.
that in preparation for this epic?
That's right. Your
Yes,
lights
epic
were lit,
segment.
literally.
All 5 of them.
Yeah, it was
They were-
beautiful.
Sure,
was
they're
awesome.
more than 5.
Absolutely
You're
gorgeous.
counting bulbs. We have 5 dangling disco ball bulbs on that pretty little tree.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
it is. It's gorgeous.
And now we've got
that video that
dancing
you
lights.
took was like almost professional.
It was breathtaking.
Because
Austin helped
it
me
had-
with that.
it
I gotta
looked-
admit,
I mean-
Austin did the editing.
It looked like you added special effects and
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
because it looked so good.
Do you, is there like a mandate, like you have to be unplugged at a certain time because it's going to keep everybody awake in the neighborhood, like all the brightness?
I mean, it's traffic control.
I wish we
more
could
like-
just
Did you
give you your
see-
address so people could go by and
I
see
know.
it.
Did you see, you're talking about the super lit up house that belonged to the fireworks people?
Yeah.
People posted where it was at. And,
Oh, I didn't
and
see that.
one of the neighbors posted something like total bleep show.
I'm sure it
trying
is.
to get her because
Yeah.
the traffic is
Oh,
awful.
that's crazy.
But they've been doing it for so long, and she kind of laughed it off and just said, it was we know it's coming, and so you just plan accordingly, so you can get in and out of the neighborhood.
It's kind of like living near a school
by
during
Vallis.
drop-off and pickup time.
Yes.
You know
You
when
just
not to
plan.
go to the store.
Well, the whole thing that like gave us the idea, and I say us, like my family embraced this. It was my idea, but JC played along, my daughter, because she's been begging me for years. Mom, why don't we put up lights? Can we just do this? Can we just do that? And I'm like, your mom was up on the tippy top peak of that roof for many years with your brothers, who incidentally probably don't remember a single time I did it, like risking my life. Because Ryan is just like, he owns it. He's like, I will never do that. So. Yeah, sorry.
So it's on you if you want to do it.
Yeah, so which I appreciate. Like kind of like with me with the cooking. If you, if you want the kids to eat these, you're gonna have to cook.
Right.
And so we kind of just have this yin and yang. And so I have not done Christmas lights for years. And so then like it started off with like one strand around just her bedroom window, and that was the joke. Like, make sure to come by to see our Christmas lights. And it was just this one square in the middle of our ranch front of our house. So what prefaced it was I kept seeing on Twitter like the poor Bellevue police, and I'm sure Papillion police, and I follow that Sarpy scanner, you know, and they were tweeting out about the lights show that Werner Park was putting on, which I've been told is amazing. I haven't seen it yet,
cool.
I've heard
but I've heard it's amazing. Yeah. But when that first started, it was so popular that these dumb people were like, and I guess I shouldn't even say dumb. I would have been right along with them. They were blocking Highway 370, which people get up to 65, well, you're not supposed to, but 65 miles per hour on Highway 370.
Well,
it was just backed up. So
it would be just like, you have to think when you're doing this, because even regular in-town streets, when people are backed up and they block a cross street,
intersection of some
and so they can't get through, and it's like you see it coming, and you know that person's going to roll right in there. Yep, they sure did. There you go. Yep. Okay, now they're blocked in.
Well, I was seeing all these tweets, and I like the poor officers were being like pulled off of their legit job duties to do traffic control. And so then the light went off. I was like, we have this Charlie. Now, it's not a Charlie Brown in the sense that it's a pine tree. Yeah. This is just a regular tree, but it's about the size of...
It is the essence of Charlie Brown
Christmas. It's about the size of me standing up. And so I said, JC, this is the year. We're going to go get some dancing lights.
Was she pumped?
She was very pumped. And so we decorated this tree. We put some disco bulbs on it. And then we created the signs. And the signs basically said, sorry, BPD, Bellevue Police Department, for the inevitable traffic jam. And then the second sign said, enjoy our epic light display.
Oh, the looky-loos are coming.
So every night at about 6 o'clock, we plug that in.
I like how you lowered her expectations strategically. To where she appreciated getting a morsel.
Yes. Well, you know what the deal was? She turned 12 this year. And I said, here's the deal. You got 12 through 18. And then assuming you leave the house, we will do one extra addition each year.
Each of those years.
That's nice.
And she won't listen to this, so I can reveal my mom is getting her 2 of the lit up reindeer for her Christmas present.
That's cool.
And so she's going to lose her mind.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. For
awesome.
Christmas, so then she'll have it up there for like
so I'm covered next year.
So you're covered for
but
next
I told
year.
her I would get her one, so we'll get another one, I'm sure.
Covered for next
And for Halloween, we had the inflatable witch. Yeah. We had a witch, so that was her one. So I basically told her for Halloween, Christmas, we'll get one new decoration for the next 6 years.
In the next 6 years, so in 6 years, it's just going to be a mess.
Yeah.
Because in about 6 years, you're going to have everything out in the front yard.
And then she's going to get out of here.
If the neighbors think the van in the street that the plow needs to drive around is annoying now,
you just wait.
Just wait 6 years. You think your property values are going up? You just wait 6 years.
I hope no one's planning on moving, especially during the season that we have got everything on display.
Your boys feel like they got kind of jerked around because they didn't get anything when they were growing up.
Here's
and now it's all about...
We've talked about this before. Yeah. The boys got to do the ball pits.
They got everything.
And like the parties at the Jimmo Funonasium. Right. And like JC's lucky to be like have her birthday, a cake on the day because it's like on the day. Too much stuff going on.
Right. It's a lot.
So I tell her all the time. She gets some pros. She stays up till 11:30 on a weeknight.
They didn't get to do that.
No.
Right. So
because you guys are asleep. Mom's asleep again.
We think she goes to bed at 11:30. I don't know.
I'm like, gather around. Let me tell you, years gone by, we used to have story time at night where I would read to your brothers. It was a crazy time.
That was weird. Were you okay?
You'd be like, come in here. I want to show you these cave drawings. A long time ago.
We've transitioned the bonding to Netflix. We really have. We love Once Upon a Time. That's what JC and I were rewatching Once Upon a Time, and it's a great. I mean, if you have kids who like fairy tales, like we never got into Harry Potter, we didn't get into like some of the classics.
I didn't get into that either.
I should. I don't think it's ever too late to do something like that. But Once Upon a Time, and I would say the age that's appropriate would be no younger than about 11, because there's a few little sexual innuendos at times. No real cursing, because it was on network TV.
Nice.
No drugs or anything, but it's all about the concept of Once Upon a Time is there's a town in Maine called Storybrooke.
I was watching that. I like that show.
I love it
because all the real people were actually characters from fairy tales.
All the people that live in Storybrooke.
Oh, this is like an OG show, right?
Yeah.
A while ago? Okay, I remember watching it all the time ago.
Wasn't the mayor?
So the evil queen was the mayor.
Yeah, I forgot about that show. That was a great show.
The whole premise, which it's a real. I mean, like to me, people who write shows like this are just so
there's so many
imaginative.
Layers.
It's crazy to me. But the premise is that Prince Charming and Snow White had a baby in the long away fairy tale land. And they were told that this baby on her 27th or 28th birthday would be the savior. They didn't know how, but basically they were going to be cursed, and their baby was the one who was going to save them. So they put their baby through a portal, like a time traveling portal. She goes to like today's land, today's time frame, and is found by her son, which is crazy.
Yeah.
She gave her son up for adoption. The son ends up finding her. He tells her she needs to come to Storybrooke and save the town. She's the savior. And it's like this whole storyline of all the fairy tale characters from then and who they transferred to into real life.
It's crazy. It's crazy good. No,
and it's on Disney Plus. It's not on Netflix. I totally lied. It's on Disney Plus. We had to get Disney Plus. Your brothers didn't have Disney Plus.
Right.
Did you ever watch Gotham?
No, I didn't.
That's another one.
It's kind of the same thing.
It's the same thing because all of them they're the Batman characters.
Oh, interesting.
In real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's what it was. Yeah. It's really good. And they're both. You try and figure out who that's the Joker or who's the Penguin.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. I love those kind of stories.
Yeah, I do too.
The time bouncing thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan's not a big fan of. We were watching The Flight Attendant. That's what Ryan and I were watching together. It's pretty good. We've only maybe seen like a half a dozen episodes, but it has a ton of. This is what happened then, and this is where we are now. And I mean, I can just see him over
flash forward,
trying to
flash
figure
what the
it out.
hell is going on.
And it's easy, like with This Is Us, it's easy because they do such a good job setting the scene, setting the time. But Grey's Anatomy, when they did the, I don't know if you watch Grey's.
No, I didn't.
When they did the crossover, they did a flashback thing, like tried to be like This Is Us. But it was awful because they like didn't change a thing. They flashed back to like 6 weeks ago, but they didn't tell you. So it's like,
everything's the same.
Like that person's dead. What? Because there wasn't even like a or anything. It just would
give you.
Nothing.
Some harp music or something.
Yeah, nothing. Or like even just play like a Tiffany song in the background or just anything to give you the idea, but it was awful.
Well, one of the main characters, she's the main character's best friend in The Flight Attendant. It was the love interest of Woody Harrelson in White Men Can't Jump. So I was like, Ryan, pause this right now because he never remembers like who actors and actresses
was that Rosie Perez?
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. Is that her name? It sounds like that.
Yes, Rosie Perez.
So anyway,
Perez,
I said pause it right now, and he does, and I'm like, who is that? And he's like, what? I'm like the friend. I'm like, this is from a movie that you would have memorized from beginning to end. Because, if it wasn't basketball or like old school rap, Ryan had no other childhood
And that movie had both.
Yeah. So I was like, who is that? He's like, I have no idea. I'm like, it's Woody Harrelson's gal from White Men Can't Jump. He's like, she looks old. I'm like, it's
been 30 years. It's been a minute.
I'm like, so do I. Like, we've known each other since
right.
we were 15.
It's like we're all old. We're all so old. When you see an actor that you haven't seen our actors for 20 years, we're awful. We're like, holy cow, they look terrible.
Yeah, what happened?
And they look 1,000 times better than me.
Right.
Yeah,
like, we look in the mirror and we like, well, I don't have an age very much. Everybody I went to high school with was, what? But then in reality, it's like, I look like a dumpster fire.
I mean, seriously, when you go through the yearbook or you see people on Facebook that you haven't seen for a long time, from high school in particular. And I notice this more and more because I'm as guilty of it as anybody. There are like no current pictures of me.
That's funny.
I mean, like the last 5 years, probably 5 years ago. I think that's what my profile picture.
We were on point at that Omaha Fashion Week 5 years ago.
Oh my! And that's a good picture to post.
We are wringing all the stuff out of that.
And
those
I'm
pictures.
using that. And let's one further, because that was the year I got my driver's license, also, right? Mm-hmm. So this year I got my driver's license renewed, and I did it via online. So because of COVID, you get to keep your same picture.
Oh yes.
So I got this picture now for 5 more years.
I still have mine. I still have mine, and it's a great picture.
It's a great picture I had.
But
5 years
the cop
ago.
would be like,
I don't know.
Is this you? Like,
is this your daughter?
Right.
A version of
is this
me.
your daughter?
It's a version of me.
Yes, it is a version. Yeah. So, exactly right.
Yeah, it's rough.
All right. The other story that you were talking about, because you had a milestone in your household. Somebody, right? Your middle kid has his first actual legit interview.
Yeah, so he did interview. I should preface by saying he did interview for the life. He's done lifeguarding for 2 consecutive summers.
Okay,
but it was for our community, and so fairly informal, but super good job. But now he's looking to maybe do a place that's indoor, so he doesn't have to wait till the summer. He can apply his lifeguarding job. So it's a new manager, a new chance to be interviewed.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
nervous?
He's doing fine.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
You prepped him, though. That's cool.
I prepped him. So I said, okay, so describe to me a time when you did not get along with your immediate supervisor or a colleague, or how did that happen? And he's like, okay. And I said, and then there's going to be some weird ones. Be sure to go in with, if you have what could you describe as a weakness of yours? I said, and I swear to God, if you say you're a perfectionist, they're going to mark suck up, terrible, standard answer. So I'm like, even if you are a perfectionist, don't use that. You can say that you want to get excellent grades, and maybe you're a little obsessive with that. That's fine, but not I just can't walk away unless I get the job done 110%.
I don't have no
nah.
weaknesses.
So I told him, and there's going to be rando questions potentially of it has nothing to do with the job. And it took me back to when I was applying for a job, and they had asked me, if you were a song, what would that song be? So I came in with what's the last book I read? What? I came in with random ones, but if you were a song, and I swear to you, at this point in the interview, we mutually, without verbalizing it, knew I was not going to get the job. So I felt safe to just be like, yeah, you guys are cool. I'll never see you again, but I really like you, so I'm going to be honest.
Thanks for asking me to come in.
Because
this is really cute.
Well, they had asked me to apply. They reached out to me to apply, and so I applied. But then as we were going through the interview, they were asking questions about project management software and some of content platforms I just had never used before. So, again, we're getting along though. The interview's going fine.
Yeah.
And I just said, I don't know if I have a song, but you could just say anything by Whitesnake. And I just left it. I just left it on the table. And they looked at me further proving you are not the fit for us. But thank you for this.
Anything by Whitesnake. People could maybe name one song by Whitesnake, but you're saying even the deep cuts, whatever. Anything by Whitesnake.
And I only really know a great here I go again on my own. That's the one that was running through my mind.
All the bands.
So they send me because thank God companies actually do this. They send me the thank you for your time. Unfortunately this isn't going to happen. Whatever.
We'll keep it on file.
I just sent them the YouTube clip of that video. I'm like, I had a great time meeting you all.
Did they respond back to that?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So I'll never see them again, but I hope that in interview folklore, they still tell the story of the lady.
There was this chick that one time.
Let me tell you about that girl at Whitesnake chick.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
she would have been awful for our company, but great at the holiday party.
Send us a YouTube. Oh my God.
Anything by, that's going to be the name of today's
Anything
episode.
by Whitesnake.
Anything by Whitesnake.
And if you can put a little bit, please, a snippet of that song in there with Tawny riding on the hood of the car.
Yeah.
Oh, that just takes me back to my childhood.
Who's she married to?
I don't know.
Bronson? No. Not
Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah.
Is
Brosnan.
she?
Is it?
Is it Pierce Brosnan?
Or you mean
are
Bronson
blow
Pinchot?
my mind right now.
Balky?
Bronson Pinchot.
Is he married to Balky?
Is it?
Another
I love
reference to my
Balky.
childhood.
Right, I loved Balky. What planet was he from, or island?
Oh gosh,
His last name was Balky Bartakamus, right?
Oh,
and he was
yeah.
from Mypos.
God.
Remember
Mypos.
Mypos?
I do remember that.
I don't remember what pi is for math, but I know that Balky was from Mypos.
I only know 3.14, but apparently with those kids,
I was wrong. That's not her. Who is he with? Who is he with? Tawny Katane.
That's her name. Yes.
Yeah, that is not the right person. Sorry, my mistake.
I swear to you, Pat, if you do not release this podcast with that song attached to it,
I gotta find.
I will for sure.
Okay.
And now I gotta find out who's married to Pierce Brosnan.
Contain.
The rabbit hole we go.
Oh, that's
Keely Shea Smith.
Who the heck
That's
that?
who
I
that
have
was.
no idea.
Keely Shea Smith.
She's like, oh, duh. Everybody knows that. Like, who is that? I have no idea who that person is.
I need a picture. I need a visual.
I'll give you a picture. Hold on.
My best favorite part is seeing Jill try to quickly navigate her phone.
Right.
She was in the Huey Lewis video Stuck With You.
Okay.
So who was on the
Tawny
Whitesnake?
Katane was on.
That's for sure Tawny
Whitesnake.
Katane. I
Yeah.
just didn't know who she was married to.
Yeah.
I've never known that.
And so she's married to who? Tawny Katane?
I don't know who.
Oh,
he
I
is.
thought that's
He's
who you were
someone
looking
else.
up.
No, I
You're
was
thinking of
trying
Pierce
to
Brosnan.
because I thought it was Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan is married to Keely Shea Smith. That's her right there, and she was in the Huey Lewis video.
that looks a lot like her.
See?
Okay,
Thank
then
you.
I'm giving you credit now. This
Oh, yeah,
is
it does. Yeah, it does.
yeah.
Right? Okay.
So
I rest my case.
Okay, I'll forgive you now.
Wow.
That's a good
That was very
comparison.
confusing.
And both in videos, music videos.
Yes.
on hoods of cars.
With the slightly different bands.
Stuck with you.
Huey
Slightly.
Lewis,
Huey Lewis.
and Whitesnake.
Anything by Huey Lewis, though.
But they were
That is my
popular
jam.
at the same
Anything.
time.
So kids, if you need an interview answer, go ahead and chalk that one
Anything
up to
by
the interview
Whitesnake.
guru.
If you're a 21-year-old and you go in and you drop that in there, I don't know if they'll be scared or impressed if they even
Right?
know what Whitesnake is.
By now, the
What?
interviewers will have been too young to even know that band.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
They're like, White's what?
Yeah.
Who are you and what
Which
land
is terrible
did you come from?
because that's
Right.
an era of music,
yes.
the best, and nobody plays any of that anymore.
It's on my
So crazy,
my
isn't it?
place.
You
my,
can, you can play it
playlist
online or on your own playlist.
Can I
called My
also tell you
Jams.
we were doing the batting cage the other night, and "Let's Go Crazy" by Prince came on, and let me just tell you, that's another stop what you're doing. That
Yeah.
could be an interview.
And it's frustrating when your kids don't like that stuff. My son Bennett loves Prince, loves what's his name? I'll edit this out. Blind Guy Piano. What's his name? I want to say Frankie Valli. What's his name? Blind Guy Piano.
Can you Google that?
Google Blind Guy Piano. Oh my good Lord, Stevie Wonder.
Ebony and Ivory.
I'm not going to edit that. I'm going to punish myself. I'm not going to edit that out.
Why was
Ebony
that
and
so
Ivory
bad?
with Paul
You could say a blind man who plays
I
the
know.
piano.
I just thought.
Look at you.
You know
being
what?
I wish we
every-
had the
every-
video of that.
I can't say he's blind. I'm just going to imitate it. You can't say.
Ever since COVID, I've become more sensitive. I
I wish we would have that video of him doing that.
I want to play charades with you guys. I do. Or like Pictionary. I can only imagine.
Oh, it's awful. Oh my God. So anyway, where are you going with that?
I don't even remember. It's just frustrating when your
He
kids don't
doesn't
like the
like
music.
all the
Yes,
music
but
you
then
do,
they
yeah.
listen to garbage.
Oh.
I mean, like we talked about it a few episodes ago. That WAP song or WAP, W-A-P. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like a biggest grandpa, but
Yeah.
well, that WAP song, WAP, whatever it's called.
But a lot of kids that
wop,
you
I
know,
don't know.
playing it safe, it's waffles and pancakes.
Yes.
That's what we
Oh,
say, but
yeah. Mhm.
woo.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anywho.
And that just made me think when you mentioned Prince too. Somebody mentioned the other day, it puts a whole new twist on some songs that you used to like before. Because like Prince's gonna
Yeah.
party like it's 1999. It's like, God, I wish I could.
Yeah.
I can go back.
Stay up a little
and
later.
Remember when it came out? It was like 25 years away.
Yeah.
We
19
do
right? You're like,
rip
what?
on the lyrics, like WAP is like, ooh, like
Yeah.
don't look at those lyrics, kids.
Yeah.
But I distinctly remember, and I want to say it was like junior high range, but I might be totally
Mm-hmm.
off. Singing in the back of the car, "Let's Talk About Sex" by Salt. Is it Salt
Right,
and Pepper
yeah.
who did that?
Yeah.
Salt and pepper.
And I'm just like jamming out in my Catholic schoolgirl, you know. And I just see like the
Rebel.
slow head turn of my dad. Like, what is?
It's so rough. It's so rough, especially for a dad with a daughter hearing those words. It's like, oh my God, this is.
But at the time, I
so
didn't
bad.
think through. So like,
No.
that's what makes me pause and say, you know, some of the TikTok videos, the lyrics are just terrible that I see these girls.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, they're just dancing.
They're just
not
saying
thinking
words
through all the
'Cause you
lyrics.
remember, like there
Yeah.
were songs that I found out what the song meant years later that I
Yeah.
actually paid attention to the lyrics. I'm like, that's awful.
Yeah.
But like
That's
that
a
was at least hidden
terrible
in
song.
code.
But
In code, they didn't come out and say wet ass. Blah. And the kids were in the back saying wet ass. It's like at least it was whatever the code word
Right?
is.
You could say all the lyrics on the radio. That's
Yes.
that's the difference.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
true. Oh my God.
It absolutely just gives me goosebumps. That just cringy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's bad.
That's awesome.
Okay, last question
Okay.
by me, and
Yeah.
this could be personal for your poor family. But your daughter's just, a few years older than JC. Have you ever been caught, or have you caught a gentleman eyeing your daughter? Because when that happens the first time, Ryan is going to
lose it. He's going to go through the wall.
I'm not very perceptive, just in general.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't like it's when we were. No, she had a boyfriend, and he would come to the house every once in a while.
Right, but that's different.
Right,
I'm
but
talking like you pull up to it. Like I distinctly remember pulling up to a stoplight with my mom, and I had to have been. I mean, I don't even know if I was in high school. I for sure was 8th grade, maybe freshman high school, and a guy like. And when he wasn't doing it to my mom, and she was like, "What the heck?" Like,
really? No, I haven't had that happen yet.
Or 14 or whatever I was.
Exactly.
I haven't. I'll pay attention because
I don't know if I should tell you to. Like, you can continue to be clueless about it if it's happening.
Yeah,
because I'm sure.
I'll ask Beth because she would know.
The age that. Yep, there's some sweet male figures out there.
Yeah. Some dandies.
They just don't know the
I was going to say
boundary.
something started with a D also, but that wasn't it.
Yeah, well, they're that too.
It was like,
is bags the second half of that word?
D-bags.
Yes. We'll go with that instead.
Okay, so for sure get the Whitesnake song.
Yes, I'll grab that.
And if you have time between now and the holidays to really round off your Christmas experience, you know where to find our house. You can drive by.
Exactly. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know. Do you know if it's on the official list they have of houses to tour?
I mean, if it's not.
If it's not, it should be. They're missing the boat.
And then I will follow up just one-on-one with you guys if he gets the interview, if I prepared him.
Yeah, let us know. That's exciting.
If he gets the job, I should say.
Okay, so do you want to say our phone number and our everything?
Before we do that, too, if we don't see you,
I know. I feel like
Merry
I won't.
Christmas.
Yeah, I feel like it's not going to happen.
2020, this is it.
This is it for the year.
We're calling it in. We're going to say, you know what? We're done with you 2020. We're going to round things off here. And we're good.
That sounds good.
So we'll do that. So you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm calling it on accident.
Our numbers? Yeah.
Your number, if you want to go ahead and reach Pat and JT, is 402-403-9478.
Perfect.
Or hey at patandjt.com.
You could do that as well.
Right?
Yeah. Nice job.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
Thank God she came in last week.
Seriously, right?
Seriously.
Right?
Save.
I had to go back to some old footage and listen.
I was like, what's the phone number? What is I don't know.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.